Welcome back to the channel, everyone. So today I am featuring a Shadow Dragonite team that has started off the Premier Cup for me really well with a 9-win and 1-draw streak that I'll be able to feature in 2 parts. So this is part 1 of that. Before I get into the commentary, I did want to give a quick shout out to a Reddit community member, being Sobreak, and his double nuke move Staraptor team that I did egg him on to invest the Stardust in. So if you haven't checked out that video, I will leave a link in the description and definitely give it some love. So jumping right into the commentary here, we are starting off our Shadow Dragonite with a Gengar. So this is a pretty good lead for us just because these Dragon Breaths will be able to do a lot of damage to this Gengar. This is most likely a Shadow Punch here, so we do take it. Still dealing a lot of damage for us, but able to fire off the Dragon Claw back. And if this goes unshielded, we'll go ahead and knock out that Gengar. So coming in behind that, we do see a Gyarados. And Gyarados with Dragon Breath can be a problem for this team, as the Dragon Breath will do a lot of damage to the Gyarados. And with the Community Day move of Aqua Tail, that will pressure the Charizard behind us really well. So this is what we have Venasaur for, to be able to kind of soak up some of this damage here. And even though Gyarados is a dual type with the flying type, making the Frenzy Plant only hit neutral, it's still going to do a ton of damage to this Gyarados. So we are able to catch the next shield there, and we're going to go ahead and shield this one to be able to safely get to another Frenzy Plant. And we are going to farm up just a little bit before firing off this move to be able to get rid of this Gyarados. And in comes behind is a Swampert, so great thing to see there. We have the energy for it and able to fire off this Frenzy Plant and just one hit KO this Swampert. So great game there to start it off. Of course, I am trying to build this team around Shadow Dragonite on the lead. So to be able to counter a lot of Togekiss leads, I have a Poison type being the Venusaur and a Fire type being the Charizard in the back. But something like a Swampert here is a very common lead that I have seen, and having the Dragonite for it is pretty great. So here my play here is to work up to a little bit of energy and see if I can get a shield from this Zangoose, but they end up letting it through. And I am going to opt to use my Charizard as a sack swap here. So I'm going to go ahead and absorb this Night Slash and take out the Zangoose, expecting the Swampert to come back in. And of course here we are just going to go ahead and go straight for the Dragon Claw for some chip damage. Able to land it, and it is looking like it was a CMP tie. So great for my Charizard there, just do even a little bit to it. And then safely able to come back in with Venusaur and just aggressively farm down this Swampert. So this right here most likely is the Hydro Cannon. We're going to be able to safely absorb that, and we do see the Obstagoon in the back. So this team actually is really well against fighters. So because we have 2 flyers and a poison type, we are able to resist the counters on all of these Pokemon. So pretty comfortable there. The Obstagoon here does get the boost, so that can be troublesome as the Night Slashes will still hit for neutral and pretty hard. So I am going to try to get that shield with that Frenzy Plant, swap out to Dragonite and start just aggressively Dragon Breathing this Obstagoon down as much as I can. Able to get to the Dragon Claw, so we're going to go ahead and fire that off, and dealing a decent amount of damage, which is really nice for the Shadow Pokemon. And for this Shadow Dragonite, really the main move is the Dragon Breath. So having the Dragon Claw in the back for the charge move is nice, but honestly, there isn't a whole lot of need for a second charge move anyways. So if you can't get it through, like me with the Go Battle event, the Go Rocket event, I still just keep the frustration on there, as I really don't ever need to use it. So again, another Swampert lead. Definitely a very common lead in this Premier meta right now. This again is going to be a Hydro Cannon. So Shadow Dragonite can absorb 2 Hydro Cannons, but not really a third one. So we are able to comfortably take a charge move here and see if my opponent will commit to shields, and they don't seem like they will. So a second one comes through here. At this point I do opt to shield this one, and conserve some health on it. And in comes another Dragon Breath Gyarados. So definitely another very common Pokemon in this Premier Cup right now. And I do let that crunch through, which maybe I should have honestly shielded, just because it's putting my Venusaur pretty low right now. And charge move comes through. I have to shield this, even if it is just the Aqua Tail bait. And it is, so great on my opponent there. And we are going to go ahead and fire off this Frenzy Plant again. And it's shielded. And at this point, it is a race, because I do need to make it to the Frenzy Plant, in which I do, which is going to be huge, as at that point, that Gyarados could have charged up to an Aqua Tail, pressuring my Charizard as well. So in comes the Escavalier, and of course we have Charizard for this situation to be able to Fire Spin down. Swampert comes through, so we make that immediate swap. But at this point, it's pretty comfortably game, as my opponent does just go ahead and call it. So good game there. Definitely, again, with that Swampert being a very common lead, having a flyer in the front is good. But with a lot of Swampert leads, I do see that Sludge Wave as opposed to Earthquake is a thing. So that definitely has to be watched out for the Dragonite. So here we see an Alolan Executor, so something that I don't think I've ever really seen in the league. But as it's being a Dragon Grass type, it's taking massive damage from these Dragon Breaths, firing off the Dragon Claw, and it seemed like they're just letting it go. So Togekiss comes in here. So again, we are running two things that resist those charms, so that we have a counter to the Togekiss for our Dragonites. So we're seeing a Gengar here. I am going to commit to the shield to be able to pressure their shields with my Dragon Claws on these Charizard. So even if it is just neutral, it's still going to do a lot of damage just because of how squishy Gengar is. So at this point, I will let this through. I was expecting this to knock Charizard out, but it is seeming like they're able to farm up just a little bit. So of course I am going to opt to bring in Dragonite to be able to try to finish it off. But they switch in the Togekiss, and of course at this point, with the Venusaur resisting those charms because of the poison and the Sludge Bomb, we are able to do massive damage to this Togekiss. Of course I am going to go ahead and just shield this here, and the gameplay is to farm up this Togekiss and have the Frenzy Plant ready for that Gengar. But at this point, how low Gengar really was, it really wouldn't have been able to farm down the Venusaur before endgame anyways. So definitely a good game to my opponent there. And you can see how having a Dragon type in the lead can, in a lot of situations, do us really well. Just because of how much it resists, especially for those Swamperts, and how common of a lead that is. And it can honestly do really well against a Venusaur lead as well. So here we are seeing the Escavalier. So once again, we are resisting those counters. And I am going to go ahead and fire off a Dragon Claw here. So Escavalier is resisting all of these dragon moves, but again, with that shadow damage, it's still just chunking away, even at a resisted Pokemon. So here we are just going to go ahead and bring in Charizard, and able to finish off the Escavalier before it retreats with energy. And we do see the Tangrowth here. So this team has one major weakness, being rock. So something like this Tangrowth, even though it's a grass type, with that Rock Slide can really pressure my team, as just even one Rock Slide would be able to KO Charizard and do massive damage to Dragonite. So that's something that we definitely have to watch out for in this situation. So I am going to go straight for the Blast Burn, see if I can land it. They do end up shielding, and as we're out of shields, we will have to take this Rock Slide, and of course, knocking us out. So in here, I was going to try to just go straight for the Dragon Claw here and getting rid of this Tangrowth before it can get to another Rock Slide. And in comes the Lapras. So in this situation, even though we are taking super effective from the Ice Shards, fortunately for Venusaur, it is able to hit back really hard with the Frenzy Plant. And able to do massive damage here. My opponent will have to fire off a charge move. If it is an Ice Beam, then we still have the Dragonite, or the Skull Bash. It is able to knock us out, but the Dragonite, again, with that shadow damage, is able to finish off and take our first 5-0 of this premiere season. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to part 1, and part 2 will be coming out really soon to be able to feature this team up against other team comps. If you liked the video, definitely leave us a like and remember to subscribe for more content. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!